Hello, this is Pat O'Connor with O'Connor & Associates, and we have an amazing program with the Harvey Federal Tax Refund Program. It is going to help tens of thousands of people get massive refunds of their money, and it is their money that they have paid to the government in prior year in taxes, and this program allows them to claw back that money, bring it all back in, all the way back to 2013 potentially, and we're going to talk for a minute about how we can help them to sign up and get through the process. Because as salespeople, our job is to help make the sign-up process easy for the customer. We want them to feel comfortable about what they're doing. So we're going to talk about two types of sales. The first is the assumptive sale, where they call, they've heard about this refund concept, they're interested, and basically you just walk them through a series of questions and you're done in 1 to 2 minutes. Now the other is very different. The other is where they call and they know a little, but they're really not ready to sign up and they need to vent, perhaps for 15 to 30 minutes. So just be patient, occasionally acknowledge, oh, that is horrible. I can't believe that happened. Really, this is the 3rd year in a row that you flooded? That is terrible. And just listen and listen. So those are the two methods. And at the end of listening, by that point you'll know where they live and the value of their house, and you'll have the perfect question to ask them. Would you be interested in a tax refund, federal tax refund, that could likely be, in most cases for a typical homeowner, it's going to be about $25,000 to $50,000. And after venting about all the troubles they've had, they are going to be more than ready to pounce on that money. So let's talk about the first one, which is what I call the assumptive close. It's like when you're at the car dealership and you sit down and the salesman takes out the clipboard and you're going, whoa, whoa, whoa. And he's going, well, I just need to start making some notes to do the paperwork. I'm required to do this for all the forms. So we're just going to start walking through what you do if someone calls, and really we're just assuming that they have seen some of our advertising or gotten some of our mail, which will be very detailed. And of course we'll have our radio program starting this weekend. It will be on 9:50 from 6 to 8 on Saturday and 9 to 7 on Sunday a.m. So we'll have a lot of people calling in. So what do you do when they call in? So you go, I'm going to play both parts here. So the person calls and they go, and you pick up the phone. Hello, how are you doing? And you may say it a little differently, but hopefully you have an enthusiastic greeting to them. And they go, well, I heard about this Harvey Federal Tax Refund Program. Can you tell me a little about it? And then you can go, great, yeah, I think we can probably get you a refund. Can you give me your property address? And then this allows you to pull up the property address and get the value. And when you see the value, you just type it into the calculator, and then you can see how much the savings will be. And then we can't make any guarantees initially because we don't know the tax rate and we don't know their situation. It's possible that they have past due money with the IRS, or that they have student loans, or there may be other things we know of that put a hold on a refund. So while we can't guarantee people that we will get them a refund, we can guarantee them that we will do everything possible to help everyone, regardless of their circumstance, and regardless of whether it's a huge refund for a $20 million property or for a $5,000 car. We'll work with them, and it will never cost more than 10% of the recovery, and there will never be a fee, period, if they don't save taxes. And the fee will never be more than 10%. And for most of our clients, it's going to be 1 to 5% of their tax savings. That's all, 1 to 5%, and that's not of the reduction, that's of the actual federal income tax savings. So the person's on the phone, they've given you the address, and let's say that it's a $250,000 house, and you look it up, and you go, and I see this is Mrs. Jones, is that correct? And she goes, yes, thank you, this is Mrs. Jones. Miss Jones, I have great news for you. We believe that it's likely you will be able to get a refund in the range of about $35,000. Would that be of interest to you? Oh my goodness, that would be fantastic. How long would it take? Well, right now we can do our part in about 1 to 2 weeks, and then the IRS says they're sending out refunds in 3 weeks or less 90% of the time. So there's a reasonable expectation that it will be about 4 to 5 weeks from now to get your refund based on our current workload. Does that make sense to you? Yes, that does make sense. Let me tell you a little more about the cost. The tax savings are $35,000, and our fee is only $1,200, and we take care of everything to help you get your refund. There's some technical reports that we have to do, some appraisals, some other filings. We take care of everything. You can handle it from your computer. You're welcome to come to our office. We'd love to meet you. But if you want, you can do it from home or your office using a computer. So whichever you prefer. And so does that sound reasonable? You're looking at a refund of $35,000, and our fee, I forget what I said, it's about $1,300. So does that seem reasonable to you? And most people are going to go, yes. At that point, they want the money. They can get it in 4 to 5 weeks. They've never heard of this. And if they don't bring up anything else, at that point you just go, great, Mrs. Jones. And could you please confirm the spelling of Jones? I have it as Jones. Is that correct? And what's the correct spelling of your first name? Excellent. And what is the phone number? What's the best phone number for you? Fantastic. I've got it. Okay. And what's your email address? Excellent. Okay, I've got it. Now we're going to send you a survey that will allow you to put in information about the level of flooding at your property. And if that's not comfortable, we can call you. Actually, scratch that. Edit this out.
Okay.
The next thing so Mrs. Jones, we're going to send you an agreement. You can sign it by computer. You don't have to even print it out. So just do an e-signature on the agreement. Of course, you can print a copy for yourself, send it back, and we'll get to work as quickly as we can to get that refund. Does that make sense? So you can see I'm using the terms, does that make sense? And does that sound reasonable liberally? And just sort of encouraging. So, and the one other thing I would change in this is when I gave them the tax savings, I would also give them the fee at the same time. So I would say, I have great news. We believe that you likely qualify for a refund of approximately $35,000, and our fee to get it is only $1,300. Does that make sense? So you're bundling together the refund and the fee, and they're going to be focused on the refund, and to them it's found money. So that's a good way to approach it. And so from there you go to, she says, yes, that makes sense. And then you just go straight into the final close. And let's see, Mrs. Jones, is the correct spelling of your last name Jones? And what's the correct spelling of your first name? And what's the best mailing address for you right now? And what's the best telephone number? And please give me your email address. So you just walk through those, which shouldn't take more than a minute or two. And then you say, thank her, I'm so excited we're going to be able to help you most likely get a refund. There's no guarantees, but unless you owe the IRS money or you have a past due student loan, we are not aware of other such issues that would stop you getting a refund. So if you paid taxes in prior years, we believe we have an excellent chance of getting a refund for you. and we'll go forward from there.
They need to fill out the questionnaire with them over the phone in order to send the DocuFirst link. So, great, awesome, got your contact information. Now, 5 minutes, and we'll go over the questions. Yeah.
Okay, great. We'll send you the agreement, and we don't call it a contract. We don't send out contracts. We send out agreements. Agreements. That's what we have. We have an agreement with a client. It's not a contract. A contract is something an attorney needs to look at. An agreement is just something we agree all the time on things. So, just an agreement. It's a better word. So, please use that. So, great. We'll send you the agreement. And before I do that, let me just verify a few things so we can help confirm that the information I have is correct and that we get you the largest refund possible. So the purpose of this next part is to help the person understand that we're doing this to help them get the largest refund possible. What person wouldn't want to participate and help get themselves the largest refund possible? So you just quickly go through the questions. If there's a question where they don't know the exact answer, don't get hung up on it. Just put in what you can, and we'll find the information later. But just fill it out as best you can, and then close out the form and thank her. Say, thank you very much, Mrs. Jones. I'm so excited we're going to be able to save you money. If you have any questions when you get the agreement, just give us a call, and we'll be happy to talk to you about it. And we'll be getting to work right away after we get the agreement to get you your refund as fast as possible, because we know this is a time when you could use some money. God bless you. So that's the assumptive approach. So you basically just take someone from the initial call to you size the deal, and when you size it, you tell them the refund and the fee, and then after giving them the refund and the fee, then you just go to the soft closing, which is asking to confirm the spelling of their last name or to confirm their address or something else you already know. So, and Mrs. Jones, is the correct spelling of your last name Jones? And once you start down that process, it's up to them to go, whoa, 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 I'm not in this to buy, I'm just calling to get information. But I promise you, most people who call will just go ahead and let you sign them up. So the other approach is going to take a lot more time, because you're going to have people who want to talk to someone and they want to tell their story. And everyone who's flooded has a story. And every story is similar, but every story is unique. And every story is tragic. We flooded in 2001, our office did, and we were mostly on the first floor then. And that flood happened, I think it was on June 5th, roughly. So just after we had filed the protest for the year. I mean, and we had to move our office on 24 hours notice. It was horrible. So we've been through it. This year wasn't bad because we don't have much space on the first floor. So, but in any case, my heart goes out to these folks. I've never had the house flood, but the office flooding has been traumatic enough. So they need to tell their story. And once they tell their story, you will be like an old friend. And as they're telling their story, just see if you can fill out the questionnaire and get the information you need as you're going along to fill it out. And just be sympathetic and acknowledge what they're saying. Wow, I can't believe that. You've been flooded 3 times in 3 years? That's unbelievable. Or the water went up 8 feet in your house? 8 feet? I've never heard of one that high before. Or, I don't know what's going on with our Army Corps of Engineers. I mean, why do they think they can just flood all these homes? So just be sympathetic and largely sort of agree with them. Try to be sympathetic, but let them talk about 95% of the time. This is not the time for you to talk as a salesperson. This is the time for you to listen. And all you're doing is sort of acknowledging what they're saying. And eventually they'll talk themselves out. It might not seem like it while they're going through the process, but I've never had someone last more than about 30 minutes to an hour before they got finished. So when they finish talking themselves out, at this point you have looked up the information on their house and gotten their address along the way, and you'll be able to say, well, Mrs. Jones, I'm so sorry for all the suffering you've been through. Would you be interested in getting a tax refund in the range of about $35,000? Would that be helpful to you now? And most likely the answer is going to be, yes, how do I do it? We can take care of it for you. Our fee is only $1,300, and the way the process works is right now our backlog is about 1 to 2 weeks, so it'll take us about 1 to 2 weeks currently to do our part of the work, and then the IRS is expediting the Harvey tax refunds, but they say that in ordinary circumstances they deliver or they mail refund checks within 21 days, 90% of the time. So we're looking at an overall time from the time you get us started of about 4 to 5 weeks is what we think it will be approximately. Does that work for you? So the phrases, does that work for you? Does that sound reasonable? Those are good phrases to try to get people to buy in and to agree. But really, after you listen to the person and you offer them our very attractive offer of a large refund and a modest fee, and then there's no cost if we don't succeed in reducing their taxes or getting them a refund. And we're completely sincere about that. If someone pays us a fee and they later find out they aren't going to get a refund or something else happens, we will gladly refund the fee, because our goal is to help tens of thousands of people get refunds. There are something like 150 to 200,000 people who had their houses flooded in southeast Texas and Louisiana, and probably about 95% of these qualify for a federal income tax refund. But without our help, only about 2 to 3% are going to get the refund because they just don't know about the opportunity, and the tax preparers aren't calling them to talk about this. And the tax preparers really aren't even that knowledgeable about it. When I called the tax preparer for our firm, who does 3 reviews for us, he does the reviews of 3 companies and does our personal tax returns, and I said, hey, I'm thinking about doing a casualty loss because our office building flooded. You know what his comment was? It wasn't great. How much do you think you'll get? His comment was, tell me, how does that work? So this is a CPA, and I'm not trying to run the guy down, but the point is people aren't doing this. Without our help, only a small fraction, maybe 2 or 3%, are going to get their money. And it is their money. I mean, it's money they pay to the government, and the government's rules on this are very clear. IRS Tax Code 165, or if you want, you can Google IRS Tax Code 165 or Google casualty loss. If you have any questions about whether this is appropriate and legitimate, but it absolutely is. So this is an opportunity for us to help tens of thousands of people to get back their money at a time when they desperately need it. And keep in mind that this can apply to people who, 85% of the folks in Harris County who flooded did not have flood insurance. So imagine trying to rebuild your home after a flood without flood insurance. And what FEMA is telling people is we'll give you enough to make it habitable. But habitable is not nice or not what people are used to. And you know, where's the rest of the money going to come from? I mean, most people just don't have the savings to be able to finish the house out right away. So this is a great opportunity to help tens of thousands of people get back into their houses more quickly. And if you have questions, let me know or let your supervisor know, and we'll get responses to you. But the opportunity we're providing here is at a very low fee, and it's unlikely that anyone else is going to be trying to offer this in a large way. So I think it's a great opportunity for Texans, and it's also a good opportunity for us. But really, we're very passionate, as you know, about helping people to reduce their taxes. And we may be able to help people reduce their taxes as much in the Harvey property federal tax refund program as we've done in the last 25 years. I think our tax savings from Harvey income tax refund will exceed the tax savings we've generated for clients in the last 25 years. So this is a chance for us to really help a lot of people. So thanks for listening, and let us know if you have any questions.